Sorry, that was the right lever. Again, Kronk, you're getting good at this. Good job.
I've had some experience with technology.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. Anyway, welcome to Yzma's new podcast, the podcast where I, your Empress, Yzma, talk about everything in the Emperor's New Grooviverse of sorts, even though it should be Yzma's New Groove, but, you know, they didn't consult me about anything. I, of course, am your host, Yzma. Joining me again is Kronk.
Hi.
And joining me again is Scott from last time. Hello, Scott.
Imagine, if you will, a villain powerful enough to kidnap for podcasting.
Yes. And joining us today for the first time on Yzma's new podcast is Monorail Lime. Monorail Lime, you don't really look like a monorail. I don't know what a monorail looks like, but you don't look like one.
That's what happens when you've been in Lightning Lane to meet Yzma for 3 years.
Oh, all right. Well, today we are discussing Season 2, Episode 18 of the Emperor's New School, which should have been Yzma's New School, to be honest, but, you know. So, Kronk, read me off the description of the first part of the episode.
The good, the bad, and the Kronk. When Yzma gives Kronk, that's me, the assignment of disintegrating Cusco, Kronk consults his shoulder angel and devil. However, the two of them get into another fight, and Kronk tells them to go away. With those two gone, Kronk can no longer make decisions. Yzma then captures his shoulder angel in a cage and gives the shoulder devil back to Kronk. This causes Kronk to agree with everything the devil says, causing him to try and disintegrate Cusco.
Yes, wonderful. You see, in the first part, I was going over a plan where in that plan, I eliminate Cusco once and for all and invent golf. I think it was an ingenious idea. What about you, Kronk? And then, of course, just like in the episode, he is indecisive, of course, because his little angel and shoulder devils were arguing back and forth about fondue. You see, I don't see that without those special glasses, which we'll get into at later in the episode. But what I see...
They're not constructs of the imagination. They're actual beings.
Yes. This episode establishes that they are actual beings and not constructs of Kronk's imagination of any sort. So that's very interesting. I'm glad we established that, I guess. But anyway, I lost my train of thought. Give me just 1 second. Anyway, so because they're arguing about fondue, even though it just looks like Kronk is just arguing with himself and then going back and forth, Kronk tells them to leave. And then they do. They go on a vacation together, even though they hate their both ideal vacation times. I don't know why. Go separate if you don't want a vacation. It's like vacationing with your coworker. So weird. But yes, because the angel and the devil are off of Kronk's shoulders, Kronk can no longer make any sort of decisions. Kronk, how did that feel?
Well, at first it was scary.
Go on.
And then, what were we talking about?
The angel and devil. How did that feel not having them to help you make decisions?
Well, at first it was scary. And then I kind of got used to it. But they're back now, so I guess that's a spoiler. But
yes, spoiler alert. I guess they come back and it's all fine and good. But because they were gone, Kronk was unable to make even the simplest decisions of a hot bug or a cold bug, which any sort of bug is disgusting. Ugh. Why do I even have the budget? Why don't I?
That's with your mug, Yzma. Especially your mug, Yzma.
Oh, gosh.
Yzma, didn't you want to turn Cusco into a bug?
Yes, I did want to turn Cusco into a bug and then into a rock. Well, no, first a rock, and then I invent golf by kicking him over, and then I turn him into a bug, and then Kronk gets him without A. It's great. It's brilliant, right, Kronk?
Right.
Thank you, Kronk. That's
Yzma,
all
have you
I
ever
needed
thought
to do.
about turning Cusco into a celestial body and launching him into space?
Oh, wouldn't the disintegrator ray disintegrate Cusco in any form?
Well, it didn't really disintegrate me like later when I got blasted with it, just disintegrated my clothes. That was interesting, but that's also a spoiler for later. Yes, I trained the disintegrator ray to disintegrate only really Cusco. Everything else either gets burnt or is like scenery, so it doesn't really matter as much. But yes. Anyway, so because these little angel devils are off on vacation and both of them hates their ideal vacation, the angel loves like educational stuff. He would love Epcot. I think he would very much love Epcot. He loves to learn things. And the devil just wants to sit around and eat room service food and all that fun stuff and just be lazy. Neither of them are having a good time on their vacation. So, yes. I'm losing my train of thought again. I happen to do that a lot. It's because I'm older than I look. Give me just a second.
Was it paid vacation time, Kronk?
I'm supposed to pay my shoulder angel and devil?
I think so. Maybe that's why they argue all the time.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, why
Now-
didn't they tell me that?
So why doesn't Kronk get vacation time? Oh wait, it's Yzma.
He doesn't need vacation time. Every time he's with me is a vacation, right, Kronk?
Right.
Thank you. Now, because they're out on vacation, Kronk can't make decisions. And when I'm telling him another plan where I plan to turn Cusco into a cat and then turn him into a mouse and have like both of Cusco cat and Cusco mouse kill each other, I don't know how that was supposed to work, but it was still brilliant, even though I don't know how it's supposed to work. When I was trying to relate that to him, he just breaks down into tears about not being able to make decisions. But then I got a brilliant plan because of it. So I grabbed some goggles out of my secret experiment filing case. Then it gives me the ability to see all the spirits, the little good devils and angels of everybody.
Mhm.
And from there, I was able to find Kronk's shoulder angel and shoulder devil and kidnap the angel so that the devil was able to make all the decisions for Kronk. And so because the devil was making decisions for Kronk, he was about to turn Cusco into toast.
And
then
so
I
he
would be
just
a
started
pissed-
blasting.
What?
And so he just started blasting.
Yes. He just started blasting.
Like Frank on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yes, of course. I totally know what It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is. Yes. All right. But yes, I kidnapped the little angel one and put him in a hamster cage, even though I thought that they could poof in and out of will. So
Yeah.
why would a hamster cage hold it? I'm not really sure. But it was still a brilliant plan until that inferno Melina convinced Kronk that he could make decisions by himself. Who told her that? I
Twitter.
didn't. Who?
Twitter.
Twitter told, of course, Twitter. That's
And I will
evil
say,
Twitter.
paralyzing anxiety and indecision and indecisiveness is a pretty spooky prospect.
Oh, yes. I've never felt that before, but I've known plenty of people that have been paralyzed by decision making and have instead run off or wanted to run off. Not that I would know these people, but I do know those people. But yes, Kronk is about to disintegrate Cusco because the devil is right there with him. But then his angel comes back after Melina tries to convince him And the angel is just like, hey, don't kill Cusco. And they get into a competition about like doing sick moves with each other. The devil tries to break dance, the angel does jump rope. It's very silly. And then it ends with Kronk actually going to change into clothes because he was half naked during this episode, like a maniac. What do we think about this episode?
I liked it.
Of course you liked it, Kronk. You're in it.
Well, he's in
So was
every.
he unable to decide what pants he was going to wear that day?
Yes.
Yes.
That's the point. He didn't have his little shoulder angel or devil, so he couldn't decide.
Yzma, you glossed over the fact that you were the principal of this school for a brief joke in this episode.
Yes.
What did you do with the actual principal, Yzma?
I am the actual principal. What are you talking about? Principal Amzi and Yzma are the same person. I'm Principal Amzi. I know, shocker, shocks. But I do run the school, and I think I need to give a bigger budget to the cafeteria because
I guess
they're
now that the
serving bugs
show's
to the
over, it's
kids.
kind of okay to talk about it.
What?
I guess now that the show's over, it's kind of okay to talk about it.
Yes, of course. It's like being under an NDA. Like I signed that little thing to say that I, Yzma, am not supposed to reveal that I'm Principal Amzi, but now because the show's over, it's been over for years now, I've been released from that NDA, now can confirm that I am indeed Principal Amzi and that I run the school.
At least the food at the cafeteria, Yzma, looked more appetizing than the food they serve at that quick service restaurant at Disney's Hollywood Studios.
What quick service restaurant?
The one near Indiana Jones Stuntacular.
What's it called?
I think it's called Backlot Express or something.
Oh, well. Then we definitely we still need a bigger budget though. I'll probably look into that at some point soon. Getting a bigger budget for the cafeteria meals. I honestly was not that fond of this episode. I feel like the antics of the Shoulder and Angel Devil got a little bit too much for my taste as somebody that enjoys media. It was funny for a little bit, and then like the bit got too old too fast. My personal takeaway.
Yeah, I agree. It did get old way too fast.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything else that we like to say and point out about this episode?
I did like Cusco showing up being like, hey, I haven't been in this episode in a while, so
oh, that obnoxious Cusco and his fourth wall breaks. It feels like it's always during my moments too. I try to have a moment in the sun, and then he's like, oh, look, it's me, Cusco. It's all talking about me. No. It's all about me. You were there. I got the show. Like, let other people have a moment, Cusco. It's okay. You don't have to be the star of the show every time. Just because it's about you doesn't mean it's all about you. Chill out. I swear. Mm-hmm. This is why I want to become Empress. At least I'm more humble than he is. Right, Kronk?
Right.
Thank you, Kronk. Yes, that's all I want to hear. He's the best yes man ever. All right. Is there anything else that we would like to say about this particular episode?
I think that pretty much covers it.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Moving on to the next one. Mudka's number 13, my personal favorite. Kronk. Read off the episode description.
All right. Hang on, my phone's been.
I didn't know you had a phone, Kronk.
Yeah.
Lost in a storm. Cusco, Kronk, and Melina, and Guaca end up lost in the woods and wind up at Mudka's number 13, a supposed cursed restaurant. They decide to stay there until the rain stops, against Cusco's will. However, the secret of the restaurant is soon revealed when Cusco wanders into unknown parts of the building.
Yes. Now, this one...
Oh, that's the lie.
This one, we'll see about that. This one was one of my favorites because it plays it pays tribute to one of my favorite shows on the old television, The Twilight Zone. And with the little segments, each segment is like a different little scary story. So it starts out with Cusco, Kronk, Malina, and Guaca all being in a llama cart going somewhere. Maybe they're going home. I don't know where they're going, but they're lost apparently wherever they're going. And Cusco, like the fool he is, refuses to admit it. And so because it is raining very hard and they get stuck in mud, they all have to stop at Mudka's number 13, which is apparently a very cursed Mudka's meat hut. And there's like,
So
I guess
was Cusco not being able to admit that he was wrong more, was that his pride or their pride? Because whether he admits it or not, they still have to deal with being lost.
I think it was more of a his pride problem, because as soon as he had his little fit of, if I was wrong and we are lost, it stopped raining and they were able to get on with their lives. So I think it was his fault. Then again, I always think it's Cusco's fault, right, Kronk?
Right.
Yes, thank you, Kronk. So they stop at Mudka's number 13, and it's called number 13 because it was the 13th one. I guess there's more Mudka's meat huts than I know of. They must be more common than McDonald's at this point.
It's a chain of restaurants. I got one on my college campus. It's pretty good.
Really? What's your order there? I gotta try it.
It's a meat cup with a side of meat.
Meat cup with side of meat. Sounds kind of disgusting, but I'm always willing to give something new a try, even if it does sound disgusting. Anyway, so Mudka's number 13. Apparently, the day before it was supposed to open, it burned down. And then they opened it. And then it fell into a mudslide. And then they opened it again. And it decayed and withered with regular wear and tear. And then I guess they opened another one, even though the owner swore never to do another Mudka's number 13, which that would be confusing because it wouldn't be Mudka's number 13, it'd be Mudka's number 15 or 16 or 17 or however, but whatever. It doesn't matter because spaced out in between all this is Kronk doing a Rod Sterling impression, and I quite enjoy that. I didn't know you were good at impressions, Kronk.
Well, I can do a pretty good impression of you too. You want to hear it?
Maybe. Go ahead.
Kronk, to the secret lab. Pull the lever, Kronk.
Secret lab.
That's fine. That good job, Kronk. I guess that was passable. I thought it was going to be more insulting, but I gotta discount that. Good job, Kronk. Good job.
And it would end up coming in handy about a decade later when the series of unfortunate events series cast Patrick Warburton as Lemony Snicket and changed the presence of Snicket into a Rod Serling-like fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Good, of course. So, in Mudka's number 13, there's this creepy old man named Joe Friendly, right?
Friendly Joe.
Friendly Joe.
Yeah,
there we go.
Friendly Joe.
So it's run by Friendly Joe, who looks very friendly. Look at the smile on his face. That smile's a very friendly smile. I don't know why everybody was freaked out about that. But Cusco is becoming more and more suspicious of Mudka's number 13. And in the first little story of Mudka's number 13, Friendly Joe brings out a bunch of meat mugs, and Cusco is so obsessed with them that he starts drinking them one by one. And Friendly Joe brings out more, and he drinks more until he becomes as round as a blueberry. And then he's carted off and given to eat to aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Yzma approved, I assume.
Only
Yes.
the best aliens, though.
I need to hire Friendly Joe for my schemes. He seems like a very good kind of person to get schemes for. Nothing against you, Kronk. But if you weren't around, maybe you were on vacation or something, I'd probably hire Friendly Joe or something. Be cool. Now, did those aliens look to you like something out of Lilo and Stitch? Because that reminded me of that, Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, actually.
More like the Men in Black alien attack ride at Universal.
Yes, of course. But I got vibes of Lilo and Stitch because I think, I could be wrong, I'm not really sure what the timeline was, but was the Emperor's New School going on the same time as the Lilo and Stitch series, or was that before or after? I don't really know.
I don't know production-wise, but I think there was only a small overlap when Emperor's New School first premiered.
All right.
But it's possible they moved on, like everyone at, like.
That production had already finished before.
Over to the Emperor's New School after Lilo and Stitch the series wrapped.
Yes, and I'm sure like a lot of people on the production team are also on the production team of Emperor's New School. So that makes sense. Yes, it makes all the sense. And so as Kuzco is about to be devoured alive by aliens, he wakes up and it was all a dream. Woo!
Ooh.
And then he's convinced that Kronk has secret powers or something, and can turn things with his mind. And it's a reference to another Twilight Zone episode about the little boy that can make things possible with his mind, and everybody treats him. What?
It's a good life.
It's a good life. Yes, it's a reference to that. It's a good life.
Although I will say I thought this when Kuzco was eating all those meat mugs, I was expecting it to be some sort of royal curse.
A royal curse, like how do you mean?
Like some sort of thing that only affected royals, and obviously it wouldn't be real because just the nature of the story.
Mm-hmm.
But it could have been something he dreamed up, that this insatiable hunger would then bloat up all the royals, and or whatever royals were around, eating at least of Kuzco's family.
Oh, so he's basically allergic to, like, it's a royal.
Not even allergic. It's just he'd just keep eating and eating and eating and eating and eating, even.
Oh. Okay.
And I don't know if he would blow up, but like I don't know if like an actual explosion, or just keep the inflation, or just keep it to inflation. But
I really hope the people on DeviantArt don't find out about this episode.
Oh yeah.
No.
Oh.
Even Yzma hates DeviantArt.
I like some parts of it. Some of those people are creative, but there are parts that I have seen that are so evil, I wouldn't touch them. Oh. So yes, going on to the second story, Kuzco is convinced that Kronk can make things happen with his mind. And then the meat mugs become spinach puffs. And he changes the scenery around them. And then they turn into clowns upon Kronk's will. And then Kuzco insults him, and Kuzco gets turned into a giant spinach puff. And then he wakes up.
Mm-hmm.
And this all happens because he's convinced that Guaca is missing and will never return. He went to the Happy Llama Farm across the pond or whatever. Dead.
The Happy Llama Farm is where your pet llama goes.
If the whole meat mug eating was supposed to be to serve man, it was at least like really subtle, and they didn't even go for it's like anything about the cookbook. So
yes.
So what you're implying is that each of the segments were like light references to Twilight Zone episodes?
Yes, they were.
No, well,
Well, most of them.
Blanca's was a little heavier than the others, I think.
Yes. And the particular one where Kronk can like make things happen with his mind is a direct reference to an episode of the Twilight Zone. But yes, that was that segment. And then like there's a segment where Kuzco is like, I'm out of here, guys. And he gets lost in this like chasm and everything is like weird and wacky. And it's in that chasm where he finally admits that he's wrong. And he then wakes up because he fell down. He keeps falling asleep. It's kind of weird.
Yzma, you should use that to your advantage, that Kuzco falls asleep a lot.
I should have, but I wasn't in that portion of the episode.
Oh, we got 10 minutes left before we're going to have to start a new session.
Okay, yes. We'll try to wrap this up as much as possible. So, after that little segment, Kuzco admits that he's somewhat wrong and all that, but not really. But it stopped raining, and that's fine. And then Guaca is complaining about how he wasn't in like any freaky dream sequences that Kuzco has had. And so they do a little quick one for Guaca. Poor little Guaca. He's never really respected.
Which is the people are alike all over homage.
Yes, because Guaca's like, oh, I wasn't in any of your weird little dream sequences. And then Kronk is like, okay, let's just get this over with. And they're like, oh, wait a minute, it's a zoo, and it's a people zoo and all that. It's a quick little gag. It's very cute.
They want nothing to do with catering to his romantic feelings.
Yes, of course not. But then, Friendly Joe comes out and is like, oh, what's everybody's problem? What's your problem, Kuzco? And Kuzco's like, you're creepy. And Friendly Joe's like, no, I just left on the black and white setting because people haven't been in here. And my meat mug concentrate is expired. Tad bit expired. That's why you've been having weird dreams. So if you really, really want to trip out, as the kids say, get expired meat mug concentrate. Will do wonders. Should be the hot new thing on the streets at some point. Who knows?
Yes.
And yes. And then they leave, and it turns out...
Oh no! Kuzco and friends' llama cart has been crushed!
Yes, the llama cart's been crushed because they went into Mudka's number 13, but they would have been crushed if they didn't go into Mudka's number 13. So Mudka's number 13 saved them. And as they turn off and walk into the sunset, it turns out that Mudka's number 13 is a spaceship, and it flies away. It's really weird. And that was the end of that episode. Does anybody have any more comments about that?
How much did they have to pay CBS again is this count as parody, or did they?
I believe it's protected under fair use.
Yes, it's fair use parody, so they didn't get a single cent.
Even though Disney was already paying them because of Tower of Terror, so.
Yes, of course. But yeah, I like this segment of the episode very much because I love the Twilight Zone. Fun fact, Twilight Zone is Empress Yzma's favorite show. Ooh.
So is them reviewing the episode a consistent gag throughout the...
At the end?
Yeah, at the end.
So for context, at the end of the episode, during the last credits, the Shoulder Angel and the Shoulder Devil of Kronk come out and they review the episode that they just watched. And
like one of those old TV shows. Where
like Siskel and Ebert or something. And it's just a little gag. I don't think they do it for every episode. It's like a different gag every time. It's like the title card. It's like the title card theme music episode or gag or something.
Oh, okay.
Because for this one, it was Kronk, introducing everybody. It's all about Kronk. Music. Yeah, you got to do the theme music. Good job, Kronk. I'm very proud of you.
He's going to Kronko's Academy.
Yes. So that was that episode. I definitely like the Twilight Zone portion a little bit more than the Kronk, Shoulder, and Devil Angel, because I just frankly am a Twilight Zone fan. What did everybody else think overall and of the Twilight Zone parody episode?
I do agree with you, Yzma.
Good. I'm glad.
I did not like the stroller angels episode. I felt like it was very repetitive and very like not aware that it was being repetitive. The Twilight Zone episode was at least aware that it was being repetitive.
Yes. I agree. It got like the first section got old way too fast. And even me being in it wasn't enough to save it. This is the only good segment of this show where I'm not in it. The other segments without me are terrible. But the one with Mudka's number 13, it didn't have me and it was good. It's a miracle, absolute miracle.
Yeah, it's like it was a much stronger story than The Good, the Bad, and the Kronk. There was just something about it was a very weak conflict there.
I got to wear a snazzy suit.
Yes, there you go, Kronk. You got to wear a snazzy suit, so I guess it's better for you there than the other one. And it probably didn't cause you that much conflict or drama.
Kronk.
Aside from maybe the clown suit.
Kronk, all the guys and gals are going to be clamoring to cosplay you in the suit at Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party now.
Don't let it get to his head. All right. Is there anything else that we wanted to say about these episodes?
No.
Bring it back.
Bring back the Emperor's New School? No, bring back Yzma's New School. All about me, Yzma.
Yzma, have you tried going to Disney corporate? They seem to be out of ideas.
I've tried so many times. Do you know how hard it is to get a meeting with Bob Chapek? It's very hard. There's like 20 million assistants that he has. It's annoying. But there is apparently a show at Disneyland Paris right now with me in it and Kronk. Should be fun. It looks fun. I should probably.
So, Yzma, are you lending your royalties to them?
Whoa! One at a time. Who was first?
Yeah, Scott was.
Did we go into his comments about adult Disney fans or not?
Can you repeat that, please?
Should we go into his comments about adult Disney fans or not?
No, that's for another podcast or another segment of some sort.
What I said is, Yzma, are you lending your likeness? Yzma and Kronk, are you lending your likeness to them?
Yes. It's how we make money. Some of the money, anyway, without my fabulous good looks, of course. And, I mean, who wouldn't want to buy this face?
Honestly, yeah.
All right. Well, it seems like we are all done and wrapping up talking about this episode. Who has stuff to plug?
I have oh, sorry, Scott.
You could go first.
I have a podcast called It Came from Disney Plus. It's a podcast where we review the worst of the worst garbage on Disney Plus. There's an episode coming out tomorrow, or well, not tomorrow. By the time this is uploaded through Yzma's wonderful website or whatever. But the next episode is Mars Needs Moms, and everyone is going to be screaming in pain.
Good. I'm glad. It's another one of my evil plans. Alrighty. Scott, do you have stuff to plug?
Yeah, I'm as usual, my Twitter is the Nick Fan Club. My Instagram is ScottSandler94. I'm a contributor at What's on Paramount Plus, whose Twitter is What's on P Plus. And I've been writing for Culture Slate, and this week I wrote such articles as about a possible Vision series following up from WandaVision. I've got the full cast reveal of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers reunion, and that Cosmic Fury has started filming. I did the article about Greavard, the new ghost dog Pokemon for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and the teaser for Ryan Johnson's new Peacock series, and DC finally naming finally naming the heads of DC Studios with Peter Safran and James Gunn, which was pretty big news after such a tenuous search.
Oh, good, wonderful. And you can find me, Yzma, on this podcast, the Emperor's New Podcast. Kronk, what is that Twitter handle again?
At podcast DNP.
Wonderful. Thank you, Kronk. And you can follow us over there. Now, Kronk, pull the lever.